Hello, YouTube. Jason from Renegade Rants Comics here, coming from the Renegade today. It's been a little bit since I did a video. There's some reasons for it. The first reason is I've just been working a lot. I'm on the road for my job, and I hadn't been on the road as much during the nastier weather, so I'm kind of picking up steam, heading out again, so just time-wise, I really haven't had a chance to do anything. The second is I really haven't been anywhere to get anything. I am going to say that I kind of got burnt out, trying to get stuff in just to show on the channel. And I don't want this to become something that I start feeling as work. And YouTube is a lot of work. Anybody that wants to start a YouTube channel, I completely and utterly think that you should. I think it's a good way to express yourself, show what you like. I have met so many great people on here, I may not have met them in person yet, but, it's on the list that I want to meet some of these guys, hang out, talk comic books, which I guess is what it's all about. So, but there's quite a bit that goes into it, and I was falling down the rabbit hole of trying to get things in that didn't necessarily fit what I actually collected, and it becomes kind of time consuming because I feel bad if I miss somebody's video that they just dropped. You put all the time and effort in it, and you might get 10 views, you might get 200 views, it just kind of depends. So I kind of took a little bit of a break. The other reason was I haven't been getting the books for my LCS. So I know that Marvel didn't use Diamond distributors, but there's something going on, like my LCS 1 week, their Marvel order, and that's all I get on my pull list is Marvel books, ended up in Illinois, which makes absolutely no sense. It's always late. It's never on Wednesday. I'm lucky if the LCS has them by Saturday. Or they may get them in Friday, and by the time they've got to, tear into them and get them out kind of thing. And so I kind of held off for a little bit. So I'm going to show you what I picked up. This weekend is Syracuse Collectors Con. I plan on going there. I'm hoping that I can run into Brandon from Mon Comics. I know Christopher Parker is supposed to be going, so hopefully I can run into him as well. Put faces to names and, actually meet people in person. And then I think my friend Sean is going to go with me. I'm probably heading down Saturday, so if anyone is going to be going to the Syracuse Collectors Con down at the fairgrounds, and you see me, feel free to say hi, kind of thing. I'd like to, meet some people out and about. So what have we gotten in the last month? So, first thing that I got was Ultimate Wolverine #2. Then we have Hellverine #3. Hell Hunters #3. And I really like Hell Hunters, but they're kind of doing Bucky a little dirty. I understand that they're trying to, maybe back up how he became once he was the Winter Soldier, but that's starting to concern me a little bit. And then I have Wolverine #7. Deadpool and Wolverine #3. We have Cable, Love, and Chrome #3. Wolverine #4. And Hell Hunters #4. So, the other day, I went down, picked them up, and they're not a lot of money. Well, when you start getting new books, you start getting variants, it starts becoming kind of expensive. And I really like the storylines. I've been collecting them so far. I don't want to cancel anything off the pull list. But it also becomes something like I've been going way out trying to, get stuff for the channel, throw stuff up there, stuff that's maybe not in my comfort level or my wheelhouse. And I mean, I was a dollar bin picker. Like, I used to pick up books once a year, and maybe, like, it was the Ghost Rider series. My friend Sean actually got me the Ghost Rider series for like 1 year. He just kind of said, hey, it's part of your birthday or Christmas or something like that. And he just had it on his pull list, so... But once you start getting into the multiple books, and like, not that was a lot, but that was like $28, all in one kind of like fell swoop. And I kind of just sat there and I was like, if I save that up, how long would it take to actually save up enough to find a Marvel Spotlight 5? But then, does that mean that I'm not a enthusiast or comic collector anymore because I've kind of taken the break from getting the new stuff that's coming in? And then part of me was like, what do I do with the channel? Like, if I'm not getting new books in, or at least some books in, what am I going to do? Sit here and just say, hey, ordinarily I would have had comic books, but today I'm saving up, and I've saved another $1.95 for my Marvel Spotlight 5. So what I like you guys to do is just comment down below. Like, have you experienced the burnout, like, trying to collect a run? Like, how many breaks have you taken from the hobby? And I can tell you of the last 10 years of kind of serious collecting, and probably out of that 10 years, 5 is where I've really kind of been pushing to, complete the Ghost Rider Volume 1, and the Danny Ketch run, and then the Punisher run that I was working on, and then I started getting into Wolverine, and I realized that the Wolverine run, I'm never going to complete it. It's kind of like trying to do ASM, and it's not because Wolverines are overly expensive. I actually have the early issues that are the most expensive. It's just there's so many of them, and even if I did finish to collect it, and it's not that I'm not picking them up when I see them in like a 50-cent bin or a dollar bin, I don't have the room. Like, I am in a very small space, and I know we all say that, but like, I am in a very small space. So the books I have right now are taking up a majority of the space, and I don't have them in the best possible position because they're kind of next to a baseboard heater system, but there's no other way for me to store them, so I kind of rotate them around so that nothing's getting completely and utterly destroyed in storage. So, but I just want to know what you guys do. Like, do you take a break from the hobby? Do you concentrate on another hobby? Like, I literally, it's going to sound stupid because I was saying something about the amount of money that I just spent on the comic books, but I'm a watch guy. Like, that was one of the other things that I kind of used to look at. So I got on AliExpress because they've had a good sale, and I bought a couple watches. Like this watch right here I picked up, and, got it reasonably cheap, kind of thing as far as a watch goes. But it's another one of those, I have watches, and I have to dress up for my job, so I have dress watches, but I kind of like anything that's water, resistant to 200 meters or a diver style. So I pick those up whenever I see a good deal on one and kind of change it out. But if you go to my watch cases, I went through my watch cases, I probably had 5 watches that were, battery that were dead. And that means I haven't worn them. And it's kind of the same thing with my comics. Like, I don't go back and reread. I have with my Ghost Riders. I have with some of the Punishers. But, like, if I collect it, I read it once, it goes in a box, I never read it again. But I'm also a person that I don't want digital. Like, to me, reading it off of a screen is not the same as having the book in your hand. And I'll be perfectly honest, there's times where I get frustrated having to take them out of the bag and board. Be very careful as you're reading it. Put it back in the bag and board because you don't want to damage it. And it's like, this used to be fun. Like, I used to have these books, didn't know about bags and boards. You know, it's not that I was trying to destroy the comics, but my comics that I was reading or I picked up when I was a kid were not kept in any kind of great condition. They were readers. Like, I would reread a comic book multiple times. Like, if I had a stack of them, all right, I'm going to read it again. And it's like the 0 Hour set that I bought not too long ago. I want to read that. And I bought it, and it's in the original packaging, just like I had bought it at the store when I got it. And everyone's like, oh, those are dollar books all day long. You can find them. I could buy another set for $15, but I don't want to rip into the original packaging it came in. Not that it's ever going to be high value, but I want to kind of keep it like how I bought it, because that nostalgic feeling that I got when I picked that up is almost more important than reading the story. I remember the story. And then, so I started thinking, well, maybe I'll just read it online. And then I'm sitting there going, that's the exact same thing that I don't want to do. I don't want to start reading comic books online. Because to me, I was born in 78, grew up in the 80s and 90s. I want the physical media. I want it in my hand. I want to smell that comic book. I want to look at the ad in the comic book and go, the Acclaim handheld little game system. I had that Wolverine game. Then start, like, remembering whatever happened to that. Like, a lot of the books for me are more nostalgic, and I actually enjoy the ads sometimes more than the story. So, but moving forward, hopefully, I can find some really good deals down in Syracuse at the Collectors Con. I know there's some celebrities going to be there. Nobody that I'm like, super interested in kind of interacting with or anything like that. But I'm kind of hoping that it kind of reignites me, if that makes any sense. Because when you burn out doing something that you actually really like, and then you kind of completely step away, you miss out on a lot of opportunities. And I did that with the Ghost Rider books. I spent more money on those Ghost Rider books because I literally, at one point, was doing Captain America. Like, my friend Sean had given me a whole bunch of Captain Americas. I was huge into Captain America when the movies came out, First Avenger and Winter Soldier. So I was literally sucking up any Captain Americas. Meanwhile, I had my Ghost Rider run, where we're only talking of, 10 years ago, 15 years ago now. They were relatively inexpensive. It was, as everything went up, the market went up, and then that's the other thing. Like, I'm buying books now that I think are going to go up in value. However, I have never sold a comic book. I've given some away, and I actually need to do that. I need to thin out the herd, and if anyone watches the League of Substitute Comic Collectors on Son of Crom's channel, I'm on that with Stevie D, Bjorn, and Mike from Casino Comics, and then we usually have a guest on. I was late getting to that because of work, last week's episode, and there's usually a giveaway. I need to come up with some books to give away. I want to kind of give back to the community too, because I don't want to feel selfish that I'm not going through the collection and getting rid of things. And it's not so much that I don't want to give stuff away, it's literally I feel that I'm too lazy to go on Key Collector and take them off the list, because some of them that I would give away, I had trouble finding where they were on the list, if that makes any sense. So, probably enough of me rambling. Hope to see anybody at the Syracuse Collectors Con that's going to be there. If you like this sort of thing, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel out. It helps keep the algorithm putting my, videos out, kind of thing. I'm going to try to put links in the description for everybody that's on the League of Substitute Heroes. We've been doing it Wednesdays, and it's not a consistent Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern, but it's, so far we've kind of done it every other week or every couple weeks, I think is where we're going to move forward. Right now it's on Crom's channel. I'm not sure if anybody else is going to kind of like take it over for a week so he doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting. Right now with my work schedule, I can't even remotely try to do that, but we'll see how things go in the future. So hope everybody has a good rest of their week. Let me know down below, you know, what are some of the things that if you do have burnout that you guys are actually doing instead of collecting comics? Is there something else that you collect that, you know, kind of gets your mind off of where you are in the comic hobby and kind of brings you joy? I think we all need joy in our lives. I think the world is a very dark place, and I am probably one of the grumpiest people on the planet. I have been told that. It's probably not news to any of my friends, but this hobby, interacting with people that are so passionate about collecting comics, you know, everybody in the community being so supportive of each other and, you know, welcoming, is something that's kind of like made me want to actually be a better person, a better collector, help out other people. You know, I enjoy getting up on Sunday mornings and watching the Hangover show with Lettuce and Hagen and whoever they're going to have on for their guest. Like, these are things that actually make me very happy. So, let me know down below. Again, have a great week, everybody. See you next time.